Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news-making headlines today. President Lee will hold talks with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Brasilia on Monday. The summit will involve an official welcoming ceremony, expanded talks, an exchange of MOUs, a joint press conference and lunch. Korea is looking to expand trade and investment in South America, for which they will seek resuming negotiations for the Korea-Mercosur trade agreement. Also on the agenda is enhancing cooperation in critical minerals. The two leaders last met at the expanded G7 summit in France and held a bilateral summit in Seoul in February. North Korea has slammed the latest ASEAN Regional Forum Chair's statement that shared calls for denuclearization on the Korean peninsula. In a statement carried by the Korean Central News Agency on this Monday, Yo-jong condemned the call as pathetic, adding that North Korea's nuclear weapons capabilities would continue. The ARF Chair's statement released last Friday conveyed concerns regarding North Korean nuclear and missile programs while urging compliance with UN Security Council resolutions and a return to dialogue and denuclearization. The Unification Ministry here for its part has reaffirmed commitment to nuclear dismantlement on the peninsula and welcomed regional support for dialogue. On the anniversary of the 1953 Armistice Agreement, central and local government officials convened on Monday to discuss how to transform South Korea's DMZ border regions into centers of peace and economic prosperity. Unification Minister Chung Dong-young emphasized the need to end the armistice period and revitalize 10 historically isolated frontline districts across Incheon City, Gyeonggi-do Province, and Gangwon-do Province. To compensate residents for decades of security restrictions, leaders are pushing to designate special economic zones for peace. Under the master plan, 4 special zones will be selected between 2026 and 2027 to secure infrastructure funding and advance practical deregulation. President Lee Jae-myung says Korea should keep its fuel price caps and fuel tax cuts in place until global oil prices stabilize. Chairing a virtual meeting with senior aides from Brasilia on Sunday, Lee called for preemptive measures to limit the impact of volatile oil prices on inflation, following heightened tensions between the United States and Iran. He also instructed officials to prepare additional support measures if conditions worsen. The president further ordered a crackdown on market manipulation, including hoarding and price fixing, involving not only fuel but also other essential consumer goods. President Donald Trump has paused U.S. strikes on Iran for a second straight night, saying he wants to give diplomacy more time while keeping military options on the table. Speaking on Fox News on Sunday, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz said the U.S. leader is giving talks some space, while stressing that the pause should not be seen as a decision against further military action. Iran also signaled a temporary easing of tensions, with an Iranian military spokesperson saying Tehran has halted its retaliatory attacks, while the country's foreign ministry confirmed that indirect communications with the United States are continuing through mediators, including Qatar and Pakistan. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.